it afterwards.
Okay, sorry. I'm getting ahead of it.
It's okay. It was during our goof at North Springs.
Oh, the Brent who?
That's exactly it. Here we go. Uh, yeah, that wasn't live. All right, here we go.
You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee Podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Texas to Tennessee Podcast. We got a crazy episode tonight that we've kind of put together a few days ago, and thankful that it worked the way that it did. And never thought that when I would be making that intro that Hood would be co-hosting. But thank you for hopping on, Mr. Adam Hood.
Oh, awkward, man. I was so weird to see myself like that in the interview, and then here I am, and there I was right there. So weird. No, thanks for having me, buddy. I appreciate you having me. I'm glad I got to do this.
It's we've kind of talked about this off and on for a little bit, so glad it finally came to be, and somebody that you're that you worked with before, so that's cool. Everybody, welcome Mr. James Otto.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, James?
This is it, buddy. You're looking at it.
Yeah.
Hanging out in the studio talking to y'all.
Right? Are you in the studio?
Yeah, man. You know, it's the only place where I can get peace and quiet at the house.
I need to get one of those studios then, apparently.
Man, you know what I'm saying? This is where I hide out from the wife when she's got a long list of honeydews for me to do. I find myself up here and I'll find things to do.
Just something to kind of keep you busy.
Yeah,
And
that's
babe,
right.
I gotta work. I have all
Yeah,
these
I'm working,
I have
baby.
stuff to do. Attaboy.
So that's why Adam did the podcast in his bathroom.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm up here in my little spot too. I got stuff to do. I can't cook tonight.
That's exactly right.
Adam, everybody's favorite part of podcasting, but for those that don't know James Otto, give us a little bit of a rundown of who James Otto is.
I'm giving you the rundown on who I am.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
us
man.
Just
Oh, my
a,
Tell
just
us
a
a little bit
snap.
about how you got started, James. Where'd you come from? Tell
We'll
us
get
about
to
how
that
you got
next,
started.
Adam.
Man, I've been living in Nashville for the last 28 years or something. I got here in 97. So yeah, 97. Oh my God, long time ago. But this has been home for me for a long time. I've made my living as a singer-songwriter for I think most of those years, 26 of those years. I haven't had to have a real job, I guess, in that time, but I've found that not having a real job, I still end up working quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of
Yeah.
you never work, but you're never off either at the same time.
Yeah, you're always working. But as they say, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. I'm not sure that's true or not. But
Yeah, you work that much more. Correct. Yeah. It's just a lot more fun.
that's
So
it. You actually enjoy it. But man, I've been doing this thing a long time. I'm originally from Washington State and North Dakota. It's weird. Like my folks were, my dad was military. My folks moved between both those places, and then I've been all over the world. I was military myself, so and now I travel for a living all the time. So I feel like I'm a bit of a nomad.
what got you to Nashville, James?
Ooh, music, man. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
only reason I came. That was it. I had a bunch of terrible jobs in Washington when I got out of the military, and I basically told myself, I can have a shitty job in Nashville as much as I can back home, and
Yeah.
at least I could chase my dream. And so I've been here ever since.
Did you play shows when you were in Nashville, or when you were in Washington State before you
Oh
moved?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was playing guitar all through high school and singing and doing all of that. When I graduated high school, I actually moved to Seattle, and you got to think of how dumb I was. I knew Seattle was a music town, and I knew that it's only 4 hours away from my hometown. So I drove up there, got myself an apartment, Moved. This is within a month and a half of graduating high school. I left. I was gone, and I got up there to find myself a country band in Seattle in 1992. Uh, you can imagine
Perfect
how well that
timing.
went.
Yeah, right. Perfect timing.
The
Perfect timing.
the
I was
the
killing it.
the West Coast country music capital of the world, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, look, where I was from, country music was hugely popular in southeastern Washington because it's very rural. Everybody either owns an orchard or back then it was cherries and apples, and now everybody's got a weed farm or they're growing
Yeah.
hops or everybody's a farmer of some sort.
So how did it go with that? Like, I mean, you moved to Seattle pretty much. Was it the genesis of the grunge movement, or was that was probably the height of it, wasn't it? Or
It
was it?
was the height of it. It was everything had taken off and blown up. And man, I was like I said, looking for a country band, and there was only one country band in the entire area that I could find, and they had the greatest country band name I've actually ever heard. They were called Led Stetson,
Oh, that's pretty good.
which is pretty
Yeah,
incredible.
pretty
Pretty
good. Yeah,
incredible.
band names are hard
Uh,
to come by too. So I really appreciate a good band name, man.
Right?
That's pretty
That's what I
good. Yeah.
thought too. But I wasn't even old enough to get into to see them play. So I was, 18 years old and living in Seattle on my own, and I ended up getting myself in some financial trouble trying to pay the bills, working damn near minimum wage job.
Mhm.
And within about a year of being up there, I called my dad. I said, "Look, I need to move home. I need to figure out something. I want to move to Nashville, and I knew I wanted to do that then,
Mhm.
but I didn't have any money, and my folks didn't have the money to give me to move. And my dad told me, he said, "Look, you can either uh, go to college or you can join the military." And I joined the military. I joined the Navy a couple months later, and basically from there, I went to boot camp in San Diego, and
Okay.
from there I was stationed in Guam, and from Guam I went around the world.
Wow. So how long were you in service then?
Only 2 years, man. 2 years was the minimum you could sign up for at the time.
Oh,
And when I went to the recruiter's office, I took all the tests and did all the stuff. And they're like, they wanted to sign me up for 6 years to be a helicopter mechanic. And I had all the aptitude to do that. And I love working on things with my hands. That was, kind of how I grew up.
mhm.
But I mean, again, I wanted to move to Nashville. I knew that in my
Yeah.
heart and soul, that's where I wanted to be. And so 2 years seemed like a small commitment. I could go do that, save up enough money to move to Nashville. And so I did that. I went and served my time, went around the world, learned a lot, which was, I think, tremendously important for
Yeah.
18-year-old me to grow up and to figure out how to live out from under mom and dad's roof, how to pay the bills, how to be responsible for myself.
Yeah.
And so that was really um, necessary at the time. And from there, I got out of the military in 95. So I went in 93 and came out in 95. I spent 2 years playing in bands back home all over southeastern Washington and
Mm,
northeastern Oregon and just regionally up in the area.
mm.
And just decided that, if I was going to ever be serious about it, I had to actually move to Nashville. So I did. I packed up all of my things and headed to Nashville, and I've been there ever since.
Did you know anybody that was living in Nashville when you moved?
Not a soul, dude. I didn't have a
Wow.
job. I didn't know anyone. It was complete leap of faith. And you're talking about moving all the way across the country. It wasn't like, you're even an 8 hour drive away. Like, it's 24-hour drive to get back out there. So
Yeah.
it's a long ways. And so I took all of my things and I didn't give myself any other out. And I think that was also important was
Mhm.
this is it. Like you have to sink or swim. You're going to figure it out down there, and I luckily I did. I got a job working at for Opryland Hotel, like so many people did back then, driving buses, picking up tourists from the airport, and I did that for a while until I got another I got another job driving an oil truck around Middle Tennessee, and I was writing songs in my oil truck every day, singing into a recorder, and then
Yeah.
hitting the songwriter clubs every night. And I did that for another, probably, I don't know. It took me about 2 years before I got my first publishing deal. So
Okay. So that's what I was going to ask next. So did you have a publishing deal before you got signed to a
yeah,
record deal?
to a record deal. Oh yeah. I had a publishing deal for about 2 years before I got my first record deal at Mercury Records. Luke Lewis signed me over to Mercury,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of debate at the time because the record that I made was really a very southern rock record. It was not very mainstream country music. It was more
Yeah.
like southern rock driving, kind of harder edge country, and somewhere along the lines, as things do, I was writing songs every day, and the label and I disagreed on what songs I should be cutting, and of course they won. And the character of the record got changed a little bit, and I put out a song called "Days of Our Lives," which was a well written country song,
Yeah.
but it wasn't what I was trying to do, you know.
Right.
And luckily it wasn't a hit. I did that, and I had a song called "The Ball," which I actually was again, not quite what the rest of the record was. So it was an interesting time for me.
But now the ball charted, right?
It did. We were top 40. I can't remember exactly where it got to, but between both those songs, they both went top 40. And so
Really?
it was, a blessing. It was dreams coming true, being able to go out and chase it. But it was also like, well, what exactly do I want to do? And so there was some talk about me going to Lost Highway for the longest time while I was over there. They didn't know if I belonged on Mercury or if I belonged on Lost Highway, because that was a record label that had like Ryan Adams and this more alternative country scene.
They were like the OG indie label. Yeah. Between
Yes.
them and New West, like they were the ones that were the ones that all the left of center country artists were on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so was the publishing deal affiliated with the record label in any way?
So yeah, it was not the first deal I got. The first deal was with a company called Scream Music. Do you remember Scream Music? It was at the Barbara Orbison building. And it was like Doug Grau and Christy DiNapoli but they had I want to say like Stephen Allen Davis was the writer that got me signed to there. Do you remember Stephen Allen Davis?
I think so. Yeah, I think I know who you're
Amazing writer. If you look up his catalog, you'd know some of the hits, but also a pretty killer artist in his own right. He's passed on now, but he was incredible, and he got me my deal there, and that publishing company sold all of the catalogs that they had to Universal Music, and so I ended up going to Universal Talking. So that obviously it worked well for them when they signed me to Mercury.
because they already had you were already working for them.
That's right.
In their publishing house.
They had my catalog, all of my songs at that point, and it made good financial sense for them.
Well, and I asked because I realize now that if there's a method to it, that method makes sense. You move, you kind of go through the gauntlet of learning how to write songs and just whether they're commercially viable or not, it's irrelevant. But
Right.
just whatever the best you can do, and that kind of puts you in a place to where you start working for a publishing company. That publishing house kind of you run through the ranks of that to get you to a place where you have a little bit of success. And
Yeah.
if you can sell those songs, if you can sell those songs yourself, that can put you into a record label deal. You know what I mean? And like I
Yeah.
don't necessarily know that that's what anybody's intention, but it seems to work that way a lot. You know what I mean? And
It
so,
definitely does. Well, it gives them they know you know how to write a song.
yeah,
They know that you're in there working every day, and they have a intellectual property that they can maybe get their money back out of you for. Not that
right,
they were giving me a lot of money at the time. I mean, I was getting $18,000 a year
yeah,
to write songs initially, and I think that you'd be lucky to get $18,000 out of a publisher these days. So
I know.
I don't think it's gotten much better. But for a young artist, it was a dream come true. I wasn't having to drive truck every day.
Yeah.
I was able to spend all of my time working with writers and figuring out, learning my craft, and it was
Which,
so valuable.
which is the beauty and the publishing part of it was for all intents and purposes, it was just a steady paycheck. I mean,
Yep.
if it was barely enough to eat, that's fine. I can barely eat enough, and this is my steady paycheck. And so, I feel the same way. I get it. What was I about to say? Crap. Anyway, continue what you're talking. Dang, I had a good question.
Does it sound good? Sorry, the chat was saying that they had an echo and stuff earlier. Hopefully everything is. I
I
don't
hear
know.
a little bit
As
of an
soon as we
echo, but
started
it's
it,
nothing
apparently.
overpowering for me.
Yeah, it's not impeding anything that I'm doing either.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Apparently it was a great
What
time to
year did you
start a
come to town,
podcast and
Adam?
then have internet issues. So.
What are you saying, Chris?
Hmm?
What'd you say? I missed you.
No, I was saying that I'm good. So
Okay.
no, he asked what year did you move? You come to Nashville?
So I never, and
He
it's
asked. He really asked you when did you start in music? That's what
so
he
tell us
asked.
how you got
There you go.
started in the business. Tell us how you got started in show business. Give a little bit of background about yourself. um, so I've never lived in Nashville, but at the same time, I really didn't get involved until '09. That was when I started writing for Carnival, and so
Okay.
I met Miranda in Texas, and she
Yep.
introduced me to. In fact, we played with her at Joe's, which that was. I think we opened for you at Joe's once. I think that's kind of where we met.
You did, dude. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you know what? A friend of mine reminded me of that. He said, when I don't know, I was talking about you doing something, and he said, he opened for you at Weed Street, like
Yeah,
Joe's
man.
on Weed Street, like the first time we ever played there. And I
Ah,
was like,
that's
that's
cool.
exactly right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's cool. I'm glad that I was right about that because I remember seeing you then. I was like, did we open that show? And that so I'm
you
glad.
sure
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that I got a deal with Carnival. That was 2009, 2010, and so I was there for 7 years. Took a year off, and then at Low Country Sound for 5.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Alabama though, man, so many great acts come out of there. I think part of the story that we didn't talk about earlier, and you do know, Adam, is that I lived in Alabama for 2 years,
Mm,
and those two
mm,
years are the years actually that I will say um, made me fall in love with country music. It
yeah.
was my seventh and eighth
mm.
grade year, and
Mm.
I discovered Hank Jr. and I discovered Charlie Daniels Band and
In
Alabama,
Alabama.
and I was like, my
Uh,
life changed forever. Like literally, that was the genesis of me caring about country music because prior to that, country music was what my grandparents listened to, and I didn't think it was cool.
Yeah,
You know what I
correct. Yeah.
mean?
And we were just too
Yeah,
young to
yeah.
understand because you and I are pretty
that's
much the
it.
same age. And so yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean, so our grandparents' country music, that was pretty much Merle Haggard, George Jones, that kind of stuff. I
which I
remember that
love
stuff being
now.
on. Yeah, me
Which I,
too, exactly.
yeah,
But you kind of had to have a little bit of mileage to appreciate
Mhm.
it. But when
I
we
think you
got to
did.
that age, I just don't remember. I don't remember listening to an Alabama song or a Hank Jr. song and thinking, well, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Like they're just,
Right.
there's just
Yes.
never a dumb song. Like the songs on the radio, they were always, and
Yeah,
that's to the credit of the writers and to the credit of everybody involved. Those guys, they wrote great songs, they chose great songs,
they sure
and
did.
and it really, I mean, just the whole economy
Mhm.
of like country music in itself, the whole landscape of it was really, really special at that time. And it's irrelevant
Agreed.
to say whether we would get there again or not. I don't feel like it matters, but I do know I feel the same way you do. I feel like that
Yeah.
that everything that I absorbed, when I was getting started was the right thing to absorb. You know what I mean? So
Totally, man. Yeah, it
Mm.
it was a game changer for me for sure. I remember thinking clearly. I remember because I was playing guitar already and was very interested in music because I had been obsessed with music since I was a kid. And
right.
my grandma had said to me, you should play country music. Artists can have a lot longer career in country music. She knew that back then.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
And I was like, no way, I'm not going to play
Hmm.
country music. That's terrible. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't dig it at all. And then I heard Hank Jr. Like I said, this was '87. So and from then on out, the whole game changed, and I was hooked.
Well,
And so,
and from a production perspective too, like, that was, those were days when you could, like you saying, if you wanted to learn how to play the guitar, you could hear guitar parts,
yes,
and
yes,
and it may take a
Yeah.
little bit of somebody showing you kind of what G chords sound like, but
yep,
once you kind of get that familiarity in your ears, you're off to the races after that. And I don't, that's the one thing that I feel like that, that a lot of stuff is, I don't hear that nearly as much. Yeah, I mean, I do myself just because, but I do myself now because I choose to
sure,
listen to the kind of music that does. But like the stuff that
right.
that you hear,
Right.
in a mass market, I don't know
Hmm.
that you could say I want to be a guitar player and find where the guitar parts are. That's a lot of those
R-
songs.
Well, yeah, I mean, anymore, I
Yeah.
think the only place that, not the only place, but one of the only places that you can even be a guitar player and be famous anymore is in country music. I
Yeah,
mean, you
correct.
don't see a lot of artists outside of the genre.
Uh,
Rock is obviously, I love rock music. I'm a big fan of all kinds of genres of rock music, but it's not, anywhere near the size of what country music has become. And so there's just not that much
right.
new rock music being made.
And the
Uh,
players, there are very few of them. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
like, of course, say what you want. Mayer's a great guitar player. Gary
I
Clark
love them
Jr.,
to
you know what I
death.
mean? Like
I
Trucks
love
and
all
guys
that
like
stuff.
that. But that's the thing. Like you can count on one hand the guys
Yes,
that are really kind of ground Marcus King. But, Marcus
I
kind of
love
lends
Marcus
himself to
King.
country music too, as much as he does anything else.
Well, he sure does, and I think the best. That's one of the things that I
Hmm.
think country music's doing right now is embracing some of those guys.
Yeah,
You know what I
correct.
mean? There's a
I do.
place for them in
Right.
this genre.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. I'm a huge Marcus King fan, but I'm also a huge fan of the blues and rock and roll.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
I incorporate those things into what I do because I am a tremendously large fan of that kind of music. So,
Because in Alabama at that time, you could hear those kind of songs. I
for
mean, I
sure.
remember hearing Merle Haggard songs on the radio, but then still hearing Bob Seger songs on the radio. And, we have a
Yes.
lot of commonality with that, with
Yeah,
Bob
and Leonard
Seger.
Skinner and
Yeah,
Allman Brothers and for me, I didn't think they were that much different
correct.
than like Hank Jr. or Charlie Daniels band. It was
You at
they
least had the
belonged in the same
opportunity. Yeah.
place.
You had the opportunity to hear the similarities in all
Yes.
that stuff because there
Yeah.
was there was no reason to listen to it from a critical perspective at the time. You know what I mean? Like
No.
it just, I mean, just that wasn't why we listened to music then.
No, it was just giving me a visceral response. It made me feel something.
I like that. I like this right
Yeah.
here. I don't care much for that, but I like this here. I like that
That's
Leonard
exactly
Skinner
right.
stuff, fool. I like that Hank Jr.
That's exactly right.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
So, all right. So, second album was the one that the single that just got
Yeah,
started
just
loving
got
you,
started
right?
loving you on it. Yep. That was
Okay.
obviously a game changer for me. That was um it was in all of the things that you want to have happen for you. It all took off at one time. You jumped on the rocket ship, right? And it
Yeah.
was a wild time for me because I went from the writer's lifestyle in Nashville to being gone 300 days a year.
Yeah.
And so it was, amazing and also like disorienting. I had just
Had you
trying to
had your
figure out how
daughter
to.
then? Were you a
No, not
dad?
quite, not quite. But it was 2 years after that. So she was
Okay.
born in
Okay. Cool.
2010, and just got started. Came out in 20, or well, it was a number one in 2008. So,
Okay. Yeah. So
so
really
yeah,
close that time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's it. It was
Very interesting.
yeah, it was a cool time and something I'm unbelievably thankful for. But um anybody that's been on that ride can tell you it's crazy. It was definitely something I wasn't sure I knew how to deal with at the time.
Well, and
You think
you,
you're
you
ready?
you see it from that perspective, and
Yeah.
when it really is. I mean, it's behind the curtain. I mean, it's the
Yep.
other side of the console. And so there's just things that you learn there that you just there's a drive-by trucker song that says rock and roll means well, but it can't help but telling young boys lies. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of the
Yeah.
same
Right.
thing. It's like, this
Yep.
ain't how I thought it was gonna be. And so, but it's cool to be able to see that. I can imagine. And the other aspect of it was, the fact that you've had that success as an artist and also that success as a writer, like within color and stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, what are the similarities and differences between the two, in your opinion?
I think the similarities are when you go into a writing room every day, you have no idea what's going to come out
Yeah.
at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? You can go in with an idea of what you're going to write and come out with something at the end of the day that can be a complete and total life changer.
Mm,
And both of those songs were those things. And
mm.
I've gotten asked a million times, like, how come you didn't cut in color? And it was, well, my album was finished. It was in the
Yeah.
can, and it just was bad timing for me. And ultimately, it was the best thing that could have happened because it gave us Jamie Johnson, and I think that that's a tremendous value to country music. I mean, he's one of my favorite artists and also a good friend of mine. So, but there's, I think the similarities are trying to think of what that means. I think you go into it with a creative heart every day, trying to make something happen. And I've written a lot of songs with and for other people,
Yeah.
uh, and I think the main thing is knowing what songs should be for other people and which songs should be for you.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean? Knowing what your artistry is and knowing what people like about you or what makes you special or unique from anybody else is a big thing. And I just to speak to that again, In Color is one of those songs that when people ask me how come I didn't cut it, well, because I first off timing, but also I don't think that it would have been the hit that it became
Hmm.
if I had cut it. I
Yeah.
had three different heads of the record label when I was at Warner, and it wouldn't have been the priority that it was for Mercury. You know what I mean? And that's what Jamie was signed at the time.
Man, and
So,
it just put him in a different level, man. I mean,
oh man,
because it's
Hmm.
not like he
yeah,
didn't have singles before then, and nobody doubted his writing ability, but like, I don't know, man. It bumped his. I don't know. I mean, everybody had respect for him, but
mythical status is what it
yeah,
did,
I think so.
and
Yeah.
he was for the longest time like a country music messiah is what people looked at him like. And I that sounds odd, but that there was a mystique around him after that and
Hmm.
that album and that song, and it's been wild to witness
Gotta be
as
cool to be a
Jamie's.
gotta be cool to be a
Yes.
part of the writing process of a song that has that
Oh,
kind of credential to
incredible.
it.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And both
awesome.
those guys are incredible writers. Lee Thomas Miller is a I think a future Hall of Famer songwriter,
Yeah.
and just a staple in the business. And Jamie and I were both young bucks coming up through the clubs and the
Hmm.
scene,
Yeah.
and we caught lightning in a bottle. It's just we weren't even supposed to write that day, which is the craziest thing about that song. He had been at my house the night before, hanging out, and my writer canceled on me the next morning. And I just texted him. I say, "Hey, I've got nothing to do. You want to get together and write today?" He said, "Yeah, come down and sit down with me and Lee. Um, I've got an idea, but we haven't started it yet."
Hmm.
And I went down there, and 4 hours later, In Color was born. And that's just about showing up, dude. Showing up, and every day as a writer, we all have the choice to you can flake out,
Yeah,
and a lot
man.
of people do. There's so many flaky songwriters, and I've been one of them many times. But like showing up and being there and being present and giving your best when you have that opportunity, I feel like that was a God thing, if I'm honest with you. That song was meant to happen the way it happened, and I was blessed to have been there to catch it.
Yeah, that's cool,
Have you?
man. I mean, and you're right. It's neat because there's, that's as far as songwriting goes, like it really is. Sometimes it's, you know, that you can lay out if you want to real easy. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Oh
But at the
God,
same
yeah.
time, and the want to is really hard to come up with sometimes. And man, I'm with you. Like I know more stories of people that say what you just said, and similar ones like, I didn't want to write that day, and that's the day
Yeah.
that when you really sort of get to the place to where you kind of have to just kind of surrender to to something beyond your
Yes.
abilities and your strengths. That's really when the
Yeah.
magic happens, man.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that's it. I'm so guilty of canceling many times and flaking out, just like every other writer I know. It happens. You know what I
Yeah, it
mean?
does.
But
Yeah.
the it showing up is a big part of the deal, and you doing it when you don't want to do it. I think that songwriting, the difference between a pro songwriter and an amateur songwriter is the amateur songwriter writes from inspiration, and the pro
Hmm.
songwriter writes from perspiration.
Yeah.
You show up and you just
Yeah.
do it. You
Yeah,
make it
man.
happen
Just
every
sweat it
day.
out, man. I know it.
Yeah, man, make it
That's true.
happen. Yeah, man. I mean, you go to the room, you hang out, you do the thing, and you put in the work, man.
Have you ever thought about that as far as In Color is concerned, just being part of a song that literally is in every honky tonk karaoke or corner stage bar music. I mean, that's one of those. That's one of those songs. It's Dixieland delight. It's whatever. It's
Man,
it's in that
Yeah,
like
it's a classic. Yeah.
and also
thanks, y'all.
have you ever been in a situation where you've seen unintentionally seen other people play it live?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I see people play it in bars all the time, and w- um, they don't know who I am. I'll just go in there and catch a set or do
That's
something else.
cool.
I hear it in sets all the time, but more than that, every one of my like friends, when they go to a bar anywhere in the world, they'll see a songwriter getting up play, or like an artist get up and doing covers, and I mean, I've seen everybody from, I mean, major artists singing it, not
Riley
just from
Green just
bar
in his set.
bands.
I mean, he's been putting it in his set
Yeah,
for
it's in
years, man.
Riley's set. I've seen it in a Darius Rucker's set. I've seen it
Yeah.
in, I mean, all kinds of guys. So it's just kind of mind blowing, and I'm eternally grateful to have been a part of it.
Mm.
Was there any revision process on that song? I mean, when y'all finished, were you done,
None,
or did you? Yeah, attaboy.
none,
That's good. That's
dude.
good
And
to
that,
hear.
yeah, none. Like
Yeah.
we wrote it and we immediately walked over across the street to Jamie's publisher at the time. It was Pat Higdon. I think it was Pat. No, no, no. I'm sorry, it was not. It was I think it was Ben. I think it was Ben. And we went over there and talked to him, and Jamie, like, we both thought that, I think we even said, I think we and we I've said this several times about songs. Man, this is a song of the year kind of song. You know what I mean? And but it never is.
Right.
Until
But
it
that time
is.
it
Yeah.
actually was.
Right.
And
That's
the
so cool,
weirdest
man.
that the process of that song, like going from writing to writing it to it actually becoming a hit and becoming what it became. I mean, it almost didn't happen because
Hmm.
the first person to cut that song was Trace Adkins. Uh,
Wow.
That's right.
Trace cut that song and then got on The Apprentice with Donald Trump, and that delayed the release of his album by a year or more. And during that time, Jamie recorded and released that Guitar Song album,
Hmm.
and uh, that was that was it, man. He put it out as an independent artist, and I think it got rolling, and then Mercury picked up single and got behind it and pushed it to. It only made it to number 7, which was wild,
Wow, can
you
you
That's
know.
the
believe
crazy
that? Yeah,
thing.
not even,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not even number one. And
Yep.
it just it's a testament to the fact that, like, it is not within our control to
No.
make these things happen. You know what I mean? It really is, and the quicker you can surrender to the fact that you are not in control over
Nope.
where your music goes, as soon as you're done with it, the better. Well, and I say the better, but I tell you this, you'll sleep a lot better. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you'll
if
sort of
you
be.
can give that up, if you can, like, surrender to that and go, hey, whatever God's plan is for this is probably better than my plan.
Yeah.
And in that case, it definitely was. I mean, there was it definitely was.
Yeah.
Look, Trace's version was good. He released it. In fact, you can go get it. It's on that
Right.
record still. So he released his
Yeah.
version of it, but it doesn't have the gravitas or the power that Jamie's does. And
Yeah.
so you you just got to let go and let God. I think
Yeah, man.
is the way to do it. So
And we
yeah,
all know that, you know what I mean? Like we all know
yeah,
those kind of things until you have to really like the practical application comes in. Until you really have
yeah,
to look at it and go, why this song and not that song? Or you know what I mean? And
yeah.
when it's the 98%, because it's still, I mean, you know how it is. It's no most days, you know. I mean, for every
Most not
one, there's a million that are not, you know, and you
not 99% of the time it's not.
yeah,
Well,
that's right.
Yeah,
something I'd
yeah,
like to ask both of y'all. Um when you're playing gigs and you know the songs that are the most popular that you have,
yep,
and I mean, but when you see the reaction, I'm sure you always want the next song to pop off even more than what you've ever had. But still, when you play those shows and you see the reaction from your people, even no matter how old the song is that, I don't know, is it kind of reassuring, or
yeah.
what goes through
I
your
I
head when
think
you're going through
I
those
I think
things?
the beautiful thing about playing songs for people in an audience, um, is getting that affirmation that
Mm.
that's the one, or hey, that didn't hit the way I thought it was gonna. And you play them in songwriter rounds and everything else. And I won't say that an audience always knows that a song is a hit, because no, like, I wouldn't say that audiences knew Just Got Started Loving You was a hit before it took off. I played it and people liked it.
And
It was fine, but it wasn't like it was killing for me. When I played it, it was just another song. But
Mm.
well,
sometimes that they, like in Color, you can't play
hmm.
a set, can't play that in a set and people not go wow, even if they
Mm.
hadn't heard the song before. They get
Well,
it.
I was meaning more of the fact, like, even like to this point, and you play Just Got Started Loving You, all these years later. I know that you want every song that you release to be even bigger than that
Yeah.
song.
Yes.
Uh, but and it can be discouraging, I'm sure. But when you play that song live, and in front of your people generally are going to come
Yep.
see you play, I'm sure that still doesn't get old, even if you're discouraged that you know the other
No,
songs aren't.
look, man. I will forever be thankful that people love that song.
Yeah, right.
I don't get tired of playing it when people react that way. You
Right.
know, when am I excited to play it all the time? Maybe not, because there's songs that I think that are in my catalog that are better.
Yeah.
But you can't argue with the success of it. You can't. I mean, that song is. I found out just this last year that is like the top 100 most played song in Billboard history of country radio. So that's wild to me. It's been played that many times on radio, which is crazy. So that success is something I'm really thankful for. And yeah, sure, I get frustrated that some of these other songs that I think are better than that have not had the exposure to get to that place. But you can't look, you can't be ungrateful for success, right? If getting
There's
any
Right.
success in this business
I don't know
is
anybody.
it,
Yeah, I don't know anybody that is happy with everything that worked out the success of their songs. You know what I mean? I don't know
right?
anyone.
Yes.
I mean,
No.
honestly, it means if you think about it, like it really is. I'd say almost unanimously the opposite. Like most people are like,
Yeah.
and I don't get tired. I don't really have. Well, I get tired of playing something we know, but but at
Yeah.
the same time, there's a little bit, and it's not an attitude, but like I mean, it's one of those songs that like you kind of the the humor in that song is sort of not trying. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
it's when you
Yeah.
when you want to try. and like, I at least want to sing correctly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really
Yes.
want to sing this whole song flat, but I sing that whole song flat like it's a completely irrelevant, But anyway, I digress. Other than that, I don't have any songs that I'm tired of, but at the same time, I have songs, yeah, same thing, and I don't know anybody that's not like that. It's like, yeah,
I think that's
okay,
true.
yeah,
I
Mhm.
think, look, we all have our favorite songs
yeah,
in
for
our
sure,
catalog that we wished that that was the audience's favorite song. You know what I
right.
mean?
What
Oh
what
yeah,
would
There's
that be?
things like that
What
for
would that
sure.
be for each of you? Like just off the
good
top of your
question.
head.
Well,
Good question.
honestly, for me, some of my favorite work I've ever done is on this new record. It's
Yeah.
things like
Well, that's a great
I've been
segue.
playing some of these songs for the last couple of years live, and
Yeah.
my loyal fans, the people that have been to a lot of my shows, have heard a lot of these songs for a while now because I've been
Mhm.
playing them for a long time. But the wider world has never heard them at all, and so there's some of those songs that I think are some of my best. The one that you're going to play today is one of my favorites, one of the best, one of the favorite things I've ever done. Um,
Yeah.
but there's also gems on record. There's a song on my album Sunset Man record that's called "Damn Right." One of my favorite songs I've ever written, and most people don't know it because it was never a single.
Hmm.
Hmm. Gotcha.
Very
They just
interesting.
don't
What
know.
about you, Adam? Does the one come to mind off the top of your head, or?
No, to be honest with you, nothing really does come to because I mean, sadly, but like because it changes, man. I mean, it really
Yep,
like it really is and I don't want to say it's affected by my mood, but like there when the difference between full band shows and acoustic shows, like there's
for
completely
sure.
different songs, and like
Mhm.
that postcards and payphone song for the longest time I opened up my acoustic sets with that song until Bad Days Better, and now I open my sets up with Bad Days Better, but I mean, we don't even put like those two songs don't even make it in the full band set. You know what I mean? And like,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. And so it just really varies. And so, I mean, to have a favorite, I mean, Downturn is probably my favorite. Like that's the song that I'm the most proud of lyrically. And that's the one that like you're saying, if there's a time in my show that everything stops, it's that song. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen that song tank before. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Sure.
it is tanked. So because it's
Yep.
slow, you know what I mean? Like if it's mellow,
Sure.
and so you really have to kind of catch it in the right environment. But yeah, I mean, Downturn is probably the one that I'm the most proud
Every
of.
time I listen to that,
That's
like, or
awesome.
maybe not every time, but when I hear Downturn, especially your version, like I always go, that should have been cut at some point in time by Merle, and then I go, wait a second, that's a Edie co-write, so it makes complete sense of why it would
Oh
be
yeah.
Merle-ish. So,
Well, and
um,
and Merle's our common ground too. Like Jason and
mhm.
I mean, like I remember I played this thing called the Red Dirt Roundup in Fort Worth, and it was down in like not in the stockyards, like not on the street, like it was in the stockyards, like where they put the cows, and it was two stages. And so, I mean, the day that I played, it was okay, it was one act before me, then okay. The Turnpike Troubadours played first, then I
Right.
played, then David Allen Coe played,
Oh
then
Lord.
I can't remember who. I know, I can't remember who was between us, and then Merle Haggard played, and
Ooh.
Jason came to the show because this is when Jason was in Fort Worth, and so, man, I mean, and we were. I mean, we were like chicks, you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
were both
man.
standing over there by the monitors, and he walked up, and we were like, "Look, there he is, right there," and then Shooter Jennings was right behind him, man. And so
Yeah.
like it was like Merle Haggard passed us, and then Shooter was right there, and he had cookies in his hand. You know what I mean? So that tells you how the
Yep.
night went. But so we saw
I know
Haggard,
how it
and then
went.
and then Hank Jr. was the headliner, and so it went from like. And the funny thing was, for all the similarities that there are between Haggard's style and Hank's style, the show could not have been more different. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
Oh,
was
I'll
like, I
bet.
mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it went from like classic country to like bombs and like fireworks and all kinds of stuff like real
Right.
fast, and it was real
Yeah.
weird for a little
Wow.
while there.
I
So
bet it was. How'd the audience handle that?
I mean, man, it's Hank Jr. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Once
Like,
you go
they
into
were all
Born to Be
Yeah,
Wild
cross-eyed
buddy.
by
all in,
then,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did a couple Hank Jr. tours. I did. I got to do the Rowdy Friends tour, which was Hank and Leonard Skinnerd. So we were playing these arenas. It was the craziest audience, boy. I mean, you never know how it's going to go. You never know how Hank was going to show up either. So it was a wild experience for sure. Things I'll never forget.
I bet, man. I bet you saw some. Boy, I bet you saw some
Oh
things
my
that you.
God. Yes, I did for sure. It was wild, man. I got an eyeful for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking of unforgettable moments, we should hop into playing your song before we talk
Oh
our way
man. Yeah, please do. Hey,
out of an
Yeah.
hour.
you're the
Well,
first person ever to play this song, man. This will be great.
I
I'm gonna
appreciate you
spread it
sending
around.
sending it to me, and getting to check it out and everything. Yeah, you want to give a little bit of a rundown
Sure.
on it?
Yeah. I wrote the song with my buddies in them vibes, Alex and Larry, and I had written the chorus for this song. It's called "These Hands" is the name of it,
Mm.
and I forever ago got my wife's name tattooed on my wrist, which is always the sign of a relationship that's about to fall apart. Usually, when you get your significant other's name tattooed on your body part, you're for sure to fall apart. But luckily, we've been together for over 25 years now. So, and then when my daughter was born, I got my daughter's name tattooed on my left wrist, and the purpose of that for me was so when I'm on the road, I don't ever get lost about what I'm doing out there. I look down at and this is what
Mm.
these hands were made to do. They're made for
Mm.
loving my family, for doing this. And yes, I'm lucky out here and get to go play, country star and do all that stuff. But there's a purpose for this, and that was the reason. And so that was kind of the genesis of the song.
All right, here we go. Well, this is thank you for letting us play it on the pod, and yeah, we'll talk about the
Thanks
album
for
right
doing
after
it, brother.
this. No
Yeah,
problem.
come on.
If y'all mute your mic if you're able to. So.
You got it.
These hands can play this guitar all night in a bar. They know the way around these strings. Yeah, they're steady and strong, can work all day long and fix all kinds of things. They can cook, they can clean, sew up holes in my jeans, carry bags when we're leaving the store. Oh, but that's not what these hands are made for. Girl, these hands, yeah, these hands can be tender when you need tending to. When the storm's blowing in, they're strong enough to pull you through. Yeah, these hands, all these hands were made for loving you. These hands can wrench on an engine, adjust your suspension, get covered in dirt and grime. But they clean up just fine, polish and shine, and pour you a fine glass of wine. They can light up a candle, get your hair all in tangles, leave your dress lying there on the floor. Yeah, that's just what these hands are made for. Yeah, these hands can be tender when you need tending to. When the storm's rolling in, yeah, they're strong enough
as a Memphis guy, as a huge Stax record fan, I know that was Muscle Shoals, but the Muscle Shoals
Same
sound and the
place.
Stax, yeah, they go hand
Coming from the
in
same
hand.
place. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, look, man, that's what we want to do. That's why I went down to the shows to cut this record, is because we wanted to get that grease and that disconnect from Nashville, and the polished, Nashville thing. I've always considered what I do country soul, which is, one of the reasons that Adam, your music has always, struck a chord with me, because I know you're coming from a similar
Yeah,
place.
man.
And
The same place. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, the same
Yeah.
place. I think we grew up with the same influences. So
Yeah.
I we cut at Fame Music. That record is basically, it's a live record.
That's good.
There's no, I didn't go
Mm.
back and re-sing things. What you're hearing are the thing what I sang as the band played it. It's as live as you can make a record. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to capture a band sound. We wanted to capture something that was less polished and less, or more real, more human. And hopefully hopefully y'all hear that in the music.
Well, and it makes it a lot more three-dimensional than
Mhm.
your average, if you were cutting that somewhere in Nashville. And it's those kind of things that sort of make studios like that intangible,
Right.
there's no
Yes.
really, I mean, Macon was the same way, I mean, it's, you go into Capricorn, and it's, I don't know what it is, but it's something, and it's not
Right.
just like, it's a vibe in the room. There's,
Yes.
you can just tell, like, that kind of vacuum that's there has kind of left everything that ever happened in there stay in there, and
Yes.
you hear it come out in the mix, you hear it come out in your performance, you hear it come out in the mastering, and there's a lot to be said for those kind of studios. And so I'm glad that you said that. And it's a that record, I mean, I've heard more than, we've talked about it before, but like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of real cool stuff about that I hope really sort of resonates with the fact that, like, those studios are really, really important to just
They
the
are,
whole,
man.
yes, the
Mhm.
preservation of music in general, man.
And we're losing so many of them.
I
Like
know.
Nashville's
I know.
lost so many amazing studios, and
Yes.
and I mean,
Mhm.
like, you think about all of the great music that was made in Memphis. Man, there's a great Stax museum, but that's not the original
That's it.
Stax.
Yeah.
Right.
That's gone. It
Yeah.
was mowed under by to history, and I see that happening in Nashville. And luckily, some of the great places have been preserved, and hopefully will be forever, because they're so important. They are what ground me to the music. It's the music is in those walls. They sound a certain way. They give you a certain vibe because of the way that they were built, and those things should always stick around. Fame
I
is
mean,
one of those
man,
places.
I
Mhm.
mean, Omni Sound, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken
Oh my
when,
God,
and
yeah,
see, and that's the thing, though, and that place was where we did everything. We did everything there.
yeah,
But at the same time, like, you walk into that studio, and, like, the thing that I loved the most about that place was that Stephen Curtis Chapman's record was like one of the first ones on the wall. And I mean,
yeah.
dude, that was like junior high for me. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
this, it
wild.
was
Yeah,
like, I mean, that's this the kind of things that, like, wow, this is really, it's those kind of things that you go, man, this really is a dream at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, this is
for
cool. This is
sure.
my job. But, like, man, like, that was what I like. That record was why I'm here right now, And so
One
you
hundred
just,
percent.
man, you really hate to see those things happen. And I get it. I understand. But I was
Yeah,
I was pretty
the
heartbroken. Yeah.
of course, and it seems to be happening all the time here,
Yeah.
because progress, the nature of progress, and cities growing, and all of that stuff. I understand all of that. I get it. But so much is lost. The Nashville that I came up in, that
Oh,
I
yeah.
grew up in, and think of as old Nashville, it's mostly gone. It's just
Yeah.
mostly not
Mhm.
there anymore. So, I I think Nashville's still great. I think there's a lot of great things about Nashville. But I sometimes I really miss old school Nashville for
It sure
sure.
was cool back then, too.
It sure was,
Yeah,
man. It
yeah, it was
was.
really cool.
I was reminded of something the other day because they played a pop-up show here in Memphis a few days ago at Hernando's Hideaway, this Dale Watson's place here in town, and
Awesome.
The Black Keys played just a pop-up show.
Oh, I
And
bet that
played
was
their whole
cool.
new album. I wasn't, unfortunately, I have to work for a living, so I wasn't able to go on
Right.
a Sunday night. But but one of the things that I remembered hearing when some of their when Dave started doing his recording artists like Kendall Marvel and folks like that,
Yep.
was he was bringing back a lot of the old pickers.
Yeah.
Yep.
You were talking about people studios and stuff not getting or getting lost in the shuffle, but I really thought that was a great thing to read that Dave was using the old school guys too,
Yeah, it
which
is a
is
tremendous thing. And those cats still have if they can still play it, they still have plenty to offer. They've got all that skill that they built up over the years, and they know how to make great records. And if you want that sound that I know that Kendall wanted,
right.
that's who made those records that he loved,
Yeah,
that
man.
we all grew up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not go to the source to get it from the original cats? And he was lucky enough to be able to do that. That's
Yeah.
kind of an incredible situation. Like if I could go back and make a record with all the original Swampers, how amazing would that be? It would be.
Yeah.
That's something that I would love to do.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
what I was about to say. That's the cool thing about going down there to Fame. Like Spooner is
Yep,
around. Like I mean,
he
and
is. Yep,
whether he
David
is or isn't,
Hood.
yeah. I mean, those guys are
Yep,
all not all of them, but a lot of them are still down there. And
yep.
whether they are or not,
Yep.
like that keyboard that Spooner played everything on, it has its spot
It's
right
still
there. You know
there.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's
And
on. It's on my record.
yeah, I can hear it. It's
Yeah.
written that, and if you know what to listen for, it's really
Yep.
obvious that that's what that is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those are the kind of things that like define the sound. I mean, and and if you just like how the Stones used to do it, it's still true. And Lona Ronstadt, or if you want it to sound like this,
Yes.
you should probably go down there and get and work in that place and get some folks to play like that. That's how it's going to sound. And
That's
a
it.
testament to what you did, man. I mean, hats off to you, dude. It really does.
Thanks, buddy.
It sounds mission accomplished.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
I hope that people, uh, that it hits people in the way that I intended it. So thank you for
yeah,
that.
I'm
yeah. You
glad that
got it,
there's a
man.
music world, that's in all of the crazy things that are, of the world today. I'm glad that, um, because of internet, there is a lane for that music still, which is,
Yeah,
which is
Yeah.
great that it can still be made, and also want to shout out to Jay Took, for. I know that he was your producer on that one, and he was on this
Yeah, man.
on this podcast, episode 43. Go check out. I did my research beforehand.
Smart
Um,
man. Boy.
so yeah, Jay was cool enough to come on here early on, and really appreciate Jay and just watching people like you and a bunch of different people that work with Jay. You can tell how much they really dig that guy. So
Well, yeah, man. I mean, he's just real, and he's
Mhm.
trying to get to the same place you're getting to.
that's
You
good.
know what I mean? He wants to help you achieve your goals and your dream of how you want that record to sound and be. And he dug in with me deeper than any other producer had in the past. I mean, first off, because he's one of my best buddies. So
Yeah,
we like Adam and I, we can name, just like Jay and I, we can all name the stuff that we grew up listening to and loving. When Jay and I hop in a car and go for a car ride, we're listening to the same stuff. Uh, we're influenced by the same things. He can play me things that I'd never heard before,
right.
but he knows that I'm going to identify with immediately. You know what I mean? And he helped capture that record and make it exactly what I wanted it to be. So
Yeah, and you
Good
just
to
can't meet somebody and that
mm,
relationship happen. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
I mean, like it's obvious that there are people that have absorbed enough music to where like they can catch on quicker than the average bear. But like somebody that really knows you well
yeah.
enough to help you make a record like this, it takes a pal to do it. Yeah, I agree.
That's right. And to not to know enough to help steer you in the right direction and to help you
I know, yeah,
like
I know what you're
really,
going
yeah,
for. What you're saying is
yes,
not right, but
right,
I know what you're going for. So just trust me.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
for sure,
Brent and I have had that conversation a lot. I know what you're trying to do, man. Just trust me
yeah.
here. Like, all right, I don't want to trust you, but I'm going to.
Exactly. Yeah,
We
yeah. Well, and for cats like us that have been doing this as long as we've been doing it, sometimes it is hard to give up, not give up, but to give up control to some degree. Give to
mm,
help to let somebody else in and help see that thing through. But I know I did the right thing with Jay because again,
Yeah.
he saw the vision and helped me get there.
Yeah, man.
good deal.
I agree.
Well, I want to wrap things up here in a second and be respectful of both of y'all's time. I know, I mean, y'all are probably running out of things to talk about, right? But
I don't know.
no, I,
We
I,
could
I
probably
want
go
to say,
longer.
I know.
I understand. I just wanted to point out you were talking about the tattoos on your hands.
Yes, sir.
Little known fact: Adam has Brent Cobb and Jason Eady tattoos on his
Wow, man.
on his. Little known
Jason's
fact.
right here and Brent's right here.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
I love them.
All right, I just
I look
make
in the
sure
mirror, my shirt off, and I see their names.
every time you take a shower, you think of them.
Yes, I
Fair
think
enough. Not to turn everybody away from the album with that comment, but when is when's the new album dropping?
Well, so the way that everybody releases things these days is what they call the waterfall. We're going to release single by single, and it'll be probably every 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to release a single. I don't know how many singles deep we're going to go on the record, but
Gotcha.
what my plan is for anybody that wants the album before it's going to be on the streaming services. I think we're going to print up vinyls.
Okay.
And so we're going to press vinyls, and anybody that wants the record prior to when it'll be out everywhere else, you can buy a vinyl, and it'll be like a limited edition kind of thing. And I'll sign them all. And it's something that I've always wanted to do is to have vinyls. I know you're a big fan of vinyls as well. And as I could see in the background there, I think it's the best possible way to enjoy music. I
Yeah.
think it's that analog thing where you have to sit down and intentionally listen to a vinyl. It's not something you can sit down and passively listen to. You have to be involved, and I think that's how music should be. And how it's best enjoyed is intentionally. And so we're going to do some of that and release the record that way.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah.
I would imagine a lot of people would like to do something similar to that. And this is independent for you, right? This is
Completely
on
independent.
you.
Yeah, man.
Is
Yeah, I'm footing the bill for all of it.
is this your first album doing that?
Yeah, it is. I've made a couple of records in between, leaving Warner Brothers, and now I've made several albums, and this is the first one I've actually released.
Okay.
I got into this place where kind of stuck in the old way of doing business. Only knew one way to be in the music business, and that's not the way that albums are released anymore. It's not the way that the business works. And so I think I lean too much on other people to do things and to get involved. And I think that was a mistake, and it really
Yeah.
held me back for a long time. And so now I've just decided, you know what? Hey, what we're going to do is we're going to go out and make it happen ourselves. We're going to go out and push it and be an independent artist and give it the old college try. You know what I mean? And see what happens.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, you get
Yeah.
to a point to where you say to yourself, I mean, I've done it out loud. Like, what am I waiting on? Like why? What
Yes.
if I had this? What am I waiting on? And
Right.
it's a little bit of a process to kind of get to that to where you can say, what am I waiting on? And then lights quits pushing back and sort of doors open, but at the
That's
same
it.
time, it really takes that, it takes kind of like a man, why am I holding on to this,
Yeah, I definitely held on too long. I had a couple of deals put in place that I thought were going to really help me
Yeah.
move the ball ahead, and it just never came to fruition the way it was supposed to. And so then I wasted. This record has been made for a couple of years now. It's been
Yeah.
sitting, and that's from waiting on other people. And you know what? I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do my thing with it. And I want the people to have the music. That's the most important thing to me is getting it in the hands of the people that want it, and hopefully it spreads from there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we actually talked, I think, on TikTok or like 6 months ago, maybe
Yeah.
longer. You know, I would
Oh
like to
yeah.
come on, but you know, kind
Yep.
of in a holding pattern, and
That's exactly what it was.
and then all of a sudden you're just like, well, yeah, like I
We're
got a
going.
message, I got a message from you. Okay, I'll come on now because you know we're
Yep.
rolling. So
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
uh,
And that really was just, again, let go and let God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
You
right.
just gotta put it out into the world and
well, you got the
let it be what
product.
it's going to be. Yeah, that's it. I love this record. I've got a trio song with Jamie Johnson and Randy Houser on here called "Self-Made Fool," which is the title cut of the record. I've got another song with Maggie Rose that I love called "Beautiful Place to Be." So I've got these great artists that are on this record. I've got a lot of songs that I'm really proud of, and a sound that is what I've been chasing for the longest time, with
That's
pulling
cool.
zero punches. We're not trying to appeal to country radio or to putting it in a box. I'm just going to be the most authentic artist I can possibly be myself as much as I possibly can be, and
Yeah.
hopefully that finds the audience that wants that. Really is what it comes down to. I'm tired of putting limitations on myself musically to fit somebody else's taste. I would rather be a smaller niche artist that does exactly what he wants to do and draws people in that way.
Well,
That's great.
there's an audience out there for it. That's for sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
I don't see how that could steer you wrong, man. I mean, really, it's very, very fitting and very deserving. I agree.
Well, I appreciate it, y'all. Thank
Yeah,
you.
buddy.
Well, we usually
Yeah.
have a bunch of rapid fire questions, but we'll kind of
Let's
roll through
go.
that. I'll ask you one, and then the main and final. Did you happen to have any of those, Adam, or you want me
What?
just to roll through it? Rapid fire.
No,
Okay,
no, I
okay.
didn't have
All
rapid
right.
fire.
Well, just to what was your first concert you ever went to, and then when was the first concert that you actually paid to go see?
The first concert I ever went to was I went to see. This is embarrassing. Tiffany.
That's the point of
Yes.
the. That's
Yes.
the point of the question.
Could have
Yes.
been so beautiful.
Yeah, that was my first concert.
That's a great
And-
answer. That is
yeah.
a great answer,
And
man.
then it was like, what was the concert that you paid to go see? And it'd be
Oh,
like, Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was not. That was not that one. I did not pay to go see that. Let's see. The first one I paid to go to, my own money paid to go to, I think was a Black Crowes concert.
No, can't go
What
wrong with that
album?
one. Yeah, yeah.
That would have probably been. Let's see. It was. It was. Amorica, probably.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, that was when it was
yeah.
getting good, man.
Oh, it
The
was so
drugs were
good.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That
God, I love
cover
those
was
records
weird.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That cover
when
was
you-
great.
It was.
That's when you know. That's when you know that they're actually a Black Crowes fan too, though. When they don't go straight to Hard to Handle. Straight.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that, and I
Yeah.
love that record. It's great, but man,
No,
they're
yeah,
so
yeah.
Southern Harmony Musical Companion. There's so many great records. They're one of my favorite bands of all time.
Me
Easily.
too, man.
No doubt about it. No doubt about
Yeah.
it. All right, if you could start a podcast, we talked about this a little bit before we started, but if you could start a podcast today, who would be your first musical interview?
If I could interview anyone, oh
If you
God,
and
that's
Adam had a
tough.
podcast, it'd be like 4 hours.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. We're not
the-
going to do any interviews. We're not going to ask anybody else. Just be me and James.
You just talk
Nobody
about
else
us.
is invited. Yeah.
See you next week for more.
Yeah.
Right. God, that'd be interesting. So, are we talking about if I could interview anybody alive or dead? Is it that kind of question, or
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it?
Yeah, anybody that
I'd
you would want to
say,
be picking the brain of.
I mean, if I had the chance to sit down with any hero that I wanted to, it probably, I don't know, Levon Helm would probably be one of those guys that I'd want
Good.
to talk to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would like to hear those stories. That would be interesting to me.
Me and you.
His interviews were always like he was kind of a master of the one-liners, and like just and
Yes.
what he didn't mean that, like, it wasn't intentional, but like, he was talking about Cripple Creek the other day and just talking about how, like, that how they kind of cut the time on it instead of it being
Yeah.
like up on Crip. He said that's no fun. We didn't play it like that because
Yeah.
that wasn't any fun. I
Right.
thought that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. It's a
exactly.
lot more fun to play it
That's
that way.
exactly what I'd expect from Levon.
Yeah,
He was a
exactly.
cool cat, man. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. Yeah.
I would expect him to answer like a buddy. I want to hear. I would want that experience. That would be amazing to me for
That's
sure.
cool. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, with him, you just have to make sure you got plenty of questions. So that when they go quick, you gotta have plenty.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this thing up. We got one final question. It is the most important question. It started as a
Yes.
joke on episode 1, and now it is a requirement. Adam has answered this question. Brent Cobb, all kinds of folks, and now James, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack? It's
Let's
hard
see.
hitting
My
stuff. That's what
favorite.
we do.
Big Deborah. Let's see
Okay.
here.
Big Deborah.
I'm trying to think of which ones she's got. What are they? Let's talk about them.
All the zebra cakes and the Nutty
Zebra
Buddies and the
cakes.
Christmas trees.
Christmas
and
trees. We
Oh,
just got to.
the
it'd be the Nutty Buddies for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
man.
Good deal.
100.
All right, Little Debbie, you heard it. When we're still rolling with it, so we're open for that sponsorship whenever y'all are ready. So
Big Deborah.
if y'all
Big
don't
Deborah.
follow, that's right.
That's what happens when Little Debbie ate too many of her snacks.
Her own
That's the
stuff.
sponsorship you want.
Exactly. All right. If y'all don't follow James on all of his socials, make sure you do. We hooked up on the old Tickety Talk, so make sure you go follow over there. And wherever you stream your music, hit the follow button. And also, like you said, dude, he's gonna be releasing some vinyls to purchase and
Please.
help the project. Something that we don't really mention enough that we need to is go to a show. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's independent guys, Adam, James. There's tons and tons. Go to a show, buy some merch, shake a hand, all those
Yes, sir.
things.
Yeah, we need you now more than ever, man. We really
Yeah,
do.
it makes
We need
all
you.
the
We need
difference in
some
the world to a
support.
artist for
Yeah.
sure.
Agree.
Well, I could do a whole nother podcast about why
Yeah.
you need more important now than ever. But we'll try to touch on those at another time. But James, I appreciate your time. Adam, thanks for hopping in. Sorry about all the computer glitches apparently I was having earlier.
No worries, man. We just rolled without you. So
Yeah, we got that hillbilly Wi-Fi, so you get what you get. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
This has
man.
been a great conversation.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate
Adam-
y'all, man. Thank you so much.
well, maybe James, I might get to see you sometime in Nashville, and Adam, I'll see you down at Mile Zero. So
right.
we'll see
Be
y'all.
safe traveling, buddy.
All right, boys. Be good now.
See y'all.
See ya.
Enjoyed it.
All right, guys.